Hi there, and welcome to Wednesday. It's Q&A Wednesday on Facebook Live, and of course have a great topic as always. And you might notice a weird background. I am not home. So it's spring break for my son, so I'm in Seattle to pick him up, and I'm hanging out by myself, which is awesome because us introverts like some little me time. And I got to use my birthday present this evening or today, which was a day at the spa, and that was awesome. So I had a body wrap and a facial, and I don't think I have been that relaxed in a very, very long time. So it was an awesome day. Anyhow, so we're talking tonight a little bit about whether or not supplements are necessary. I get this all the time, a lot of questions about what supplements are appropriate, how much people should be spending on it. People catch me at the store. I just had somebody catch me at the store the other day and ask me about pre-workout. So, I don't mind talking about supplements. For those of you that know me, you kind of know my take on it, but I think it's important to kind of give a little bit of background as to why I think what I do. And so I know I don't have the lights on in here, but it makes me look weird when I turn on the lights in this hotel room. So we're just going to go with some natural light from outside there. But if you guys have any questions about supplements, I don't know everything, but I work with everyday people predominantly, and most people just want to be healthy, and so that's kind of what I promote is doing the best you can to be as healthy as possible. If you're looking into things that are a little more complicated, like stuff to take while you're at the gym, and I do know a lot about that, but the majority of the people that I talk to and that hop on here want to know a little bit about I just want to be healthy. What should I be taking? And that's important. So we're going to talk about that. So supplements. What is a supplement? A supplement is designed to fill the holes in our nutrition. So let's talk a little bit about our nutrition. Think about the fact that, when you're eating clean, whole foods, you're getting all the vitamins and minerals that you need coming directly from the food most of the time. But I want to talk a little bit about that because, of course, in this day and age, a lot of times it really depends on where the vegetables are coming from, where foods are grown. And if you think about when you eat protein, you have to think about what the protein or what the animal that you are eating, what they ate, and whether or not those foods were full of the vitamins and minerals that we're supposed to be getting. So, it does really make a big difference. I know these days, a lot of times the soil needs fertilizer, and that's what my husband does. So sometimes we get nutritionally deficient food. Now, still eating whole foods is going to be better than eating junk because, of course, if you're eating processed food, you're getting none of the above. You're getting empty calories. You're getting food that really, it might give you some energy, but it's usually in the form of stored energy because your body decides it doesn't like it and decides to store it as body fat. So I find it fascinating this day and age that they've done research on, the average American gets, less than 90% of the nutrition that they actually need with fruit, with food, and we do have to supplement. Now, again, wow, people that are obese, we've got quite the obesity epidemic in our country, and back to the research, it shows that a lot of people who, even if they are overweight, obese, can actually be malnourished or undernourished because they're not getting the vitamins and minerals that they actually need from food. Our bodies were designed to eat a certain type of food that's grown, or I tell people if you can't kill it or grow it, you probably shouldn't be eating it, which is just a really easy way of saying eat clean. So if it's processed, designed, manufactured, put in containers, additives, preservatives, again, our bodies weren't designed to deal with those. And, what do you think happens to all those additives and preservatives when our body doesn't know what to do with them? It saves ourselves from them by shoving it into the storage locker of our body, which is body fat. So, food these days, the average American diet is so nutritionally deficient that supplements almost become absolutely necessary. So, let's talk about, the supplements themselves. Well, actually, let's go back really quick to some of those clean foods. Because, again, it really depends on where those foods come from, how those foods are picked, how they're stored, what was the soil fertilized with, those kind of things. And also, there's also a difference between whether or not, your vegetables are raw or whether they're cooked. Some offer more opportunity for the vitamins and minerals raw. So that gives you some things to think about when it comes to the majority of where you should be getting your minerals and vitamins. And in this day and age when we breathe in such a toxic environment, our bodies actually need more nutrients in order to keep ourselves healthy from that. And kind of prevent, all the damage that a lot of those toxins and those additives and preservatives do to our bodies. So, we kind of need almost more of the minerals and the nutrients and vitamins just to be able to help our immune systems and function, especially with the stress level that the majority of us deal with on a regular basis. So when it comes to supplements, again, what our goal is to just fill those holes. Your best option literally is to eat as clean as you possibly can, eat as many whole foods. Of course, plant-based diet for the most part is really great, and your proteins should come from lean options that are, and of course, if you have the option to do things like grass-fed beef, those are going to be your best bet. Be careful about getting sucked into some of the gimmicks. A lot of people are saying, I only eat organic. Okay, do you guys even understand what that means? For the most part, organic could be a better option, but the only thing that organic means is that it has not had chemical, I can't even say the word, pesticides. It's all pesticides, but synthetic. Thank you. Synthetic. Organic just means that it has not had synthetic pesticides used on it. That doesn't mean it hasn't had pesticides, just it hasn't had synthetic pesticides. So Donna wants to know, is it good to freeze food? I mean, for a certain amount of time, yeah, especially like frozen vegetables, especially when things aren't in season, your best bet obviously is fresh. Actually, your very, very best bet is to grow them yourselves, because then you know what you're getting directly. Farmers market is probably the second best option, because those people tend to grow them right there in their backyard and have a little bit better quality control over that. Where it's kind of farm to table. So those are really some great options, but flash frozen isn't a bad idea. Canned, now we're starting to get into something that has been preserved. Again, not the worst option, but not the best either. And of course, again, depending on what you do with it, when you cook it, steam it, sometimes some of those vitamins are leached out of it into the water. So again, keep those kind of things in mind. So when it does come to supplements, what should you be using? I really kind of look at supplements as it's just a really huge broad spectrum. And the biggest issue with it is that supplements are not regulated by the FDA. So you're kind of getting what you have to guess it is. So there's a couple of things to think about. Are the products that you're using, and we'll get into the difference between like supplements for just the average person and supplements for athletes in a minute. But in general, all these things are true, that, you got to know what you're getting. The company that you're getting it from needs to be a quality company. They need to have proven themselves. Several years ago, there was a big lawsuit back east somewhere that they were doing some research about vitamins and supplements that were on the shelves in certain stores. They actually tested them for quality control and found out that not only were they not containing the elements that they should have, but they actually had highly allergenic nutrients included in the product as well. And I want to say it was like vitamin C or something that normal people take on a regular basis. Somebody could get very, very ill, have some severe consequences when gluten is one of the fillers. So things happen. So again, you don't know what kind of quality control that company has. You really have to do some research and know that they're a good product. Maybe they test their own products with outside testing, because of course, it's kind of counterproductive to say, yeah, we tested our own stuff. So the quality has to be there. Don't just run to the grocery store and buy whatever you can find, because again, you don't know if it's really a great product. If it's cheap, it probably contains a lot of fillers, because that's how they make them so cheap. People say, well, supplements are so expensive. Well, the good stuff is, because it's good stuff. That's kind of the point. If you want something that actually makes a difference, you have to buy the right kind of product. Things that I recommend, I'm going to talk about that in just a second, but other things that you want to look for, I found I've learned quite a bit in the last few years about supplements, because I've done a lot of research. I don't want to take things I don't know what they are, and part of the problem with a lot of pills and vitamins that are out there is that they're not really as absorbable by the body. The average pill, and I have a little chart here, because again, I've done some research on it. The average pill product as a supplement, actually you absorb about 20% of what's in it. And that's to say if it's actually good product. Most of the vitamins these days are synthetic. And so your body, it needs something that is absorbable and usable by the body. And synthetic isn't the way to go. If you can make them bioidentical or make them from superfoods, whole foods, then that's your best option. So again, know what you're taking, that's quality product, that it doesn't contain a bunch of fillers, that the company does produce quality product, and that it's something that you can absorb. Your, pills and veggie and the caps, not so much. I know a lot of people like, the patches that have, don't even get me started on those. Those are a little bit more absorbable. Sublingual is a little bit more absorbable. So, liquid form is usually a better option than pill form. And then there's some other options that we'll talk about in a few minutes. But things that I do recommend for the average person. When I sit somebody down, my first thing is please, please, please eat as clean as you can, eat as well as you can, because again, those vitamins were designed to be utilized directly by your body. But if you have to, a good multivitamin, even I don't, and I eat super, super clean. I'm like crazy clean right now. But I don't always get everything that I need, especially because I tend to eat something similar every day because it's easier to food prep in large quantities, and I'm just busy. So, I need a good multivitamin. I think that's super important. And what I'm going to tell you is you cannot get a decent multivitamin in one pill. You just can't. And over the years, I've kind of messed around with some different brands. Usually if I find a really good one, what ends up happening is they stop manufacturing it. So I have a good option for you today. I am going to tell you a little bit about the things that I carry personally as a personal trainer and wellness coach and my experience with them. I don't promote a whole lot of stuff, so I'm going to tell you just a little bit about those kind of things. I do recommend a good protein shake. Whether or not you work out and lift, most people don't get enough protein in a day. Now, not a huge fan of shake diets. Okay, I'm just not. It's a good substitute, good plan B or C if you can't get all the foods that you need at the moment. But protein shakes are designed to be a quick recovery after your lift, after your strength session. So, to have that, it's broken down in a form that your body can actually uptake really quickly to the muscle and begin the recovery process faster. Now, again, they're not all created the same. If you've just gone down to, your drugstore and bought whatever's on the shelf and it was like $26, you're probably not getting what you think you're getting. Do your research, watch the fat and the sugar content. Not that they're bad, but there's some good options and there's some not great options. The product that I carry on my website is actually a product that I've utilized for a long time. I love it because it's really easy to mix. All my people that really don't like protein shakes actually will usually try this because it tastes good. And of course it comes in peanut butter, which is what I'm looking for, right? Peanut butter and chocolate, mix them together. But, make sure it's a good, clean, quality product and that it does contain, some people are into the isolates. Some people want a little bit longer lasting protein. I actually find a mix is a good option. All that means is how broken down the product is, how synthesized it is so that your body can absorb it faster. That's all isolate means is that it's a broken down form of it. So again, it's a product that you kind of need to check your way around. Like I said, go to your local supplement store. And if you guys have any questions about anything I'm talking about tonight, please drop a message down below, or you can direct message me, especially if you want to try. I've got a couple other things I'm going to talk about that I have some samples of. So a good multivitamin, a good protein shake. And then, if you know that you're missing, like I know that, bone issues, osteoporosis runs in my family, so I make sure that I'm getting my calcium. For a while there, I was taking a pill box of like 4+ little, spots a day of product of vitamins, primarily that I get from like Costco and whatnot, until I just got sick and tired of spending that and found a better product. So I'm going to talk about that in just a minute. But if you know that you're missing, if you're deficient in something, that might be the supplement that you need to take, especially if you're very aware of your eating habits and you can kind of figure that out. Not a bad idea to go to someone who actually can do some sort of testing or check out what nutrient. They do make nutrient testing. They actually make nutrient deficiency options. Unfortunately, usually not covered by your insurance. What's new? Our insurance doesn't want to pay for nothing. So, if you know that you're missing something, now most of the time what you can do is kind of look at, do some research as to what types of ingredients can solve things. Everybody's heard of turmeric at this point, or curcumin. There's some great superfoods out there that have been researched and shown to do some great things. So not a bad idea. Just make sure that you, again, are doing your homework. Here's the biggest thing about doing your homework. Because it's not regulated by the FDA and because certain supplements can actually have side effects, even similar to things like prescription medication, and sometimes supplements can actually inhibit the availability or what the prescription medication does. You don't want a supplement to counteract what your prescription medication is doing for you. That would be obviously really bad. So, you've got to know what those risks are, what the benefits are, and the benefits should obviously always outweigh the risks. And if you're not 100% sure, dang it, talk to your doctor. They can, or even the pharmacist can go back and double check to make sure that those products are not causing issues, right? So I want to talk about a couple other things. things that I use usually, BCAAs, which are branched chain amino acids. It's the amino acids that help us build and maintain muscle. It's usually in a powdered form, or at this point, I'm off sucralose. I'm off sugar substitute for multiple reasons, primarily because it spikes your insulin, and something's up lately, and it's actually making me nauseated. So kind of okay, what's the best? Okay, well, GMOs actually stands for genetically modified organism, Donald, so I'm not sure what your question is. Most people don't want genetically modified organisms or any sort of a product that comes from genetically modified, because our bodies are not eating it the way it was designed to be used. So that's usually something that people look for, is they're looking for non-GMO at this point. Okay, so back to what I was talking about. So, other things that I tend to take. So like I said, I take a really great multivitamin that I'm going to talk about here in a second. BCAAs are really important. My multivitamin contains everything that I could possibly need. It actually has my calcium, my probiotics, all my vitamins in one really quick, it's like a 5-pack. So it's super, super simple. I don't do pre-workout anymore because, I work out so late that I can't sleep, but I do have a great energy option that I like to use. So I'm going to talk about a couple of those things in a second. But if anybody has any questions, like I said, hop on there. Because again, I'm all about answering questions. That's why we're here. So about September was turned on to a product called Viseo. Some of you are on here. I know that you guys are part of this company as well. And what I loved about it was that, number one, it's for the average person. It actually meets the needs, and it solves some issues of people that that are common. They're common issues. So like the multivitamins was absolutely my favorite. All of us need a good multivitamin that does its job and doesn't make us sick. And the product that I use is actually made from superfoods, and it contains like more than everything that I need in a day. I was actually spending about $250 a month at Costco in everything that my little packet of the core vitamins actually provides for me. So plus again, it has my probiotics in there, which is awesome, and it has all the omegas in there as well. So that's actually I kind of got onto it for that, and another product called Renew, which helps joint health. And considering I have some pretty intense neck and back issues, some chronic issues, those were the ones that kind of got me focused on it. But I've discovered that the sleep product is pretty flippin' awesome as well. I went from 5.5 hours a night and virtually no deep sleep to I'm getting 7-8 hours. As a matter of fact, my body's like, yeah, let's sleep now. So pretty excited about that. So I'm just going to show you a couple of things. If you guys are interested at all, I have samples. I can send them to you. As a trainer and someone who, again, I don't promote a whole lot of stuff because I just believe that you should just really eat healthy. But these are some things that I really like. And the biggest thing that I love about it is that they are so absorbable by the body because of the way that they are produced. So again, I can talk about that another time, but my favorite is the multivitamin. Guys, you should have a good, and it wants to know about glutamine. Glutamine is great. I do use glutamine I actually use creatine right now too as well, just because I'm still trying to put on a little bit of size, but glutamine just helps with muscle recovery. And so yeah, I use some powdered glutamine as well. That's a great option. So this is, I love these. I wish I had one open so I could show you, but it's a 5-pack. I have never found a good multivitamin that wasn't at least 5 pills. The worst one I ever used shall remain nameless, but those of you in the fitness industry will know the pills are so big that I couldn't swallow them, and then your pee smells and it's bright neon yellow. So obviously you're not absorbing any of it. So super, super simple. It has like a ton of great stuff in it. All the vitamins that you could possibly need. And like I said, it's all made from superfoods. So pretty awesome. And I've never had, my kids take all this stuff as well. My next favorite is the Renew. For anybody who has any sort of issues with joint pain, inflammation, it's really good for, like I said, it has the curcumin in it, helps with inflammation. Okay, so pre-buffer. You know what, Mike, that's a good question. Pre-buffer creatine versus, I do not know. I did not know that that was an option that existed. So guess what? I will do some research on that. Right now, the creatine that I take, I don't have it with me, or I pop it up and look at it real quick. But that's a really good question. Thank you for that question, because I'm going to check that out. If you know any more about that, message me of maybe some things to look at, or some links that you've got for that. So the Renew, like I said, it helps with joint health, helps fight the effect of free radicals. I think the joint health is the big one. That's one I've got a lot of my clients on this because, again, joint issues are so prevalent in what I do. So it helps with increased flexibility and mobility. The sleep, this is my other favorite one, has a little bit of melatonin in it, 20 minutes max. I am out and I do wake up in the night, but I go right back to sleep. So it's pretty awesome. So if any of these things are things that sound like, the issues that you have sound familiar to you, like I said, I have some samples I can actually send for you. Of these products. Neuro, because who doesn't need brain health and cognitive function? Works great. Take it every day. Really helps with, I noticed, I'm 43 and I started noticing a couple years ago that my mind wasn't as sharp. I just wasn't able to, I had some brain fog. I know that happens too a little bit as we get older and our hormones change, but I'm gonna fight that every step of the way. So anything that helps me to stay on my game and be present to everything that I'm doing, great product. I love that. The one that I currently use for my pre-workout, again, I can't do anything with too much stimulant in it because, and don't get me wrong, I love the beta-alanine, I love the niacin to an extent. I don't want to feel like I'm gonna scratch my face off. Pre-workout is a great option. Just know that you have to switch those up fairly often, fairly frequently, because your body gets really used to it fairly quick. The other thing that is that you're getting a lot of synthetic caffeine. I call it white powdered cocaine caffeine because that's what it's like. It's not natural. So when I go to work out, I lift at 7 or 8 at night, which is fairly late, and like I said, I want to actually sleep when I'm done. So I use something called V3, and I love it because it keeps it level, no crash. It's just a drink mix. It goes in my little shaker. Like I said, I carry all these, so if you're interested in them, just ask. But my favorite part is the mood enhancement. And by the way, all these are non-GMO. There's no sucralose in any of them, and they're vegan. So everybody can use them, even the kids. I've actually had pregnant women ask. Obviously, they don't really want to use the V-Slim. We'll talk about in a second. But okay, so Jenny, who is a nurse, and we listen to what she says because she's a smart girl, says that people with kidney function issues need to talk to a doctor before taking creatine. That would be correct. Anytime that you're going to take anything that you're unsure of, or if you have some issues already, you should always check with your doctor anyway. At least make them aware of what you're taking so that they can take that in consideration when they're looking at your overall health and when something's happening and they're not quite sure what's going on. So this is my favorite energy. It does have a little bit of green tea in it, but again, it allows me to still sleep at night. So love this product. And I just, like I said, put it in a shaker. I actually put it in a shaker bottle with my scoop of creatine and mix it up before I go work out. And then this is one of the most popular ones. Now, you know me. I'm going to tell you, there is no magic pill. There's no way to just hop up and lose weight. You still have to eat well. You still have to exercise. I find it funny when people are like, oh, I found this new thing. I've lost 10 pounds. I'm like, that's because you're eating better and you're not holding water. So that is the first, 5 to 10 pounds, depending on how much you have to lose, is water weight. Because when you eat less carbs, your body doesn't retain the water, right? And you eat less sodium and junk, and so your body retains less water. But this is a great tool because I found that people that have cravings, we all have cravings. I know I crave chocolate between 3 and 9 at night. Usually it's when I'm tired and having a stressful day. That's when I tend to crave that. Hi, Gina. Happy hump day, girl. So this is called V-Slim. Again, it is not a magic pill. It's not going to make you magically lose weight, but it does help curb cravings, especially for those of us that have some decent cravings. And again, they're all vegan, non-GMO. They don't contain sucralose. There's no artificial ingredients. And they taste good. So that actually comes in 2 flavors, but also a drink mix. Anyway, I do carry a fat burner that's associated with the same brand of the protein that I use. And I do carry some, can't even think of what it is today. Okay, I'll have to come back. If you're interested in any of them, I'm going to pop up the links down below. If you have, I had some great questions tonight. I'm actually going to have to go do some research. As for all those other options, when you walk into a supplement store and it's just overwhelming and you start thinking, holy cow, there's so many options. How do I even choose? You need to sit down and think, first of all, I don't want you to spend a bunch of money. That's just silly to buy. I've seen people come home with hundreds of dollars worth of stuff. And I'm like, do you even know what that does for you? Now, again, there's a time and place for a lot of those products, but some of them are way too intense. They're not always good for you, especially anything if you're sensitive to stimulants, might not be the best option for you. Jared says the number one thing he needs is a pre-workout to get him up and moving. So yes, I can, Jenny. I have them right here. So I can drop them by, or I can mail them to you. Pre-workout is really, it's one that I actually recommend go hit the local supplement stores and ask for samples, because I don't want to buy like a $60 thing because they're not very big, right? I don't want to buy that and absolutely hate the flavor, or I've had stuff that's made me ill, made me nauseated because it's too intense or too many stimulants in it. So if you can go down, I know a lot of places will send you some free samples when they ship your product to you, your order to you. So pre-workout wise, that's probably the best option. Or ask around, ask your lifting buddies. Let me tell you, I've used so many different brands. It's not even funny. And of course, my favorite ones always they stop manufacturing them. So I don't even know what to do. Probably because I've been doing this a while. So yes. So yeah, Jared, go try some of those first. I know, like I said, I know a couple places actually will give samples too. So you just have to kind of go check them out and see what you think. I don't carry a pre-workout right now just because, again, it's really, that's one that's too hard for people to, I don't want to carry just one brand. So that one you're going to have to check around. Like I said, I use the energy supplement that I carry because that way I do great. Like it gives me plenty of energy, but I don't want to stay awake all night and chatter. So it works great for me. Anyway, so again, there's a ton of stuff out there. Just do your research so that you know what you're taking. Again, the FDA doesn't regulate them, so you're going to have to you can look at reviews. Just make sure that you read the negative reviews as well as the positive reviews so that you know if people have had some complications with it or had some issues, you know what those are. Paula says she needs a good core strengthening workout. Hey, okay, I can work on that. That can be a good one for another time. I have had lots of requests for workouts. Biggest issue being, I'm not quite sure how I want to proceed with that. Like, I don't mind doing it. I just don't know. I'm not quite sure. If you have any ideas, let me know. Maybe I'll once in a while post something that's, I don't know. I'm still working on that. So that'll have to come up with that. Anyway, I know you guys are bored of me. So have an incredible evening. Again, if you have questions, you can direct message me or leave a comment below, and I will definitely answer as quickly as I can. And if you want a sample, I'll get those out pretty quick. So have an incredible Wednesday, you guys. I'm gonna hang out in my hotel room and just enjoy myself, do a little bit of work, and relax. So have a good night, guys. We'll see you next week.